Shari Olefson is a real estate attorney, author, and CEO of the Carnegie Group, a nonpartisan think tank that studies housing in America. Chris Mayer is with us as well, a professor of real estate finance and economics at Columbia Business School. Welcome to you both. So, Shari, give me the big picture. I mean, Diana just pointed out the house behind her got the sold sign put on it about an hour ago, but not all markets are created equal.
No, that's true. And Sue, what Diana pointed out is that the big news here is we're breaking a downward trend. Sales are actually trending up a little bit. The thing is that the core issues that were keeping sales down have not changed at all. So we're still looking at a situation where we have anemic new household formations due largely to job and wage problems. We've still got inventory issues. Even though inventory is up, we're not seeing increases in inventory where we really need it, which is those first-time home buyer price ranges. And the reason for that is that's just not what builders are building. And so many of those folks are still underwater.
Exactly.
When we look at 9 to 10 million people underwater, the largest percentage of those are those first-time home buyers, and they're stuck, particularly now that the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Relief Act expired and hasn't been renewed yet. They can't short sell. And, of course, last is credit. We've all been impacted by the new qualified mortgage regulations, but especially those first-time buyers by changes at FHA, which has literally locked them out of financing.
So, Chris, weigh in on that. I think you agree with some, if not all, of what Shari said, but there are differences as well.
Right. No, I certainly agree that there are still many things that would cause us not to believe that this is a, we're far from a normal housing market. We still see, nearly 1 in 5 homes being purchased by investors, a very large share of cash sales, and first-time buyers are way underrepresented in terms of their proportion of the market. So there are a lot of headwinds. I'm fairly optimistic looking ahead a little bit, however, because I think while the FHA is continuing to, is going to continue along the lines of relatively expensive mortgages if you don't have, credit or down payments, I do think that, changes that Mel Watt has announced for FHFA and Fannie and Freddie are changes that are going to open up the credit box a little bit and, not to irresponsible levels, but are certainly going to make it a little easier for people to get mortgages at the headline rates, which are really important.
On the other hand, Shari, there was an article in the New York Times today and in other papers about a week ago saying, should you rent rather than buy, given the fact that in many parts of the country the uptick in home valuations has been anemic? Not everybody is cut out to buy a house. This may be an inflection point, some say, between the renters and the buyers.
Absolutely, and that's an ever-shifting dynamic, Sue. We always need to keep an eye on those numbers. There are a lot of other benefits, obviously, other than financial benefits. I mean, home ownership is essentially a forced savings account, but probably the biggest incentive forcing folks out of renting is the increasing rental prices. On the other hand, you've got to remember, we've got almost 8 million people who lost their homes to short sales and foreclosures. They've got mandatory waiting periods, and they simply have to wait. Now, FHA has a new back-to-work program that came out in August, and hopefully they'll expand that and help get those folks back into ownership. But, the fundamental reasons for owning a home and the fundamental issues that we've been facing still exist. Fortunately, prices are not rising as fast, and hopefully affordability will be there for most people.
We hope so, certainly. Thank you guys very much, Shari and Chris. Appreciate it.